Hello, everybody, and welcome to the entertainment headquarters, and welcome to another My Top 10. And this one is dedicated to none other than both film director and actor Clint Eastwood. And, as you know, he is both an amazing director and an amazing actor. But this My Top 10 is going to focus more on his acting credits, than his directorial credits. So, he did like Mystic River, which I absolutely adore. But I wanted to focus on movies that not only he potentially have directed, but also movies that he starred in, because I think it's nice to take a look at him as both the director and the actor and what he brought to the roles that he played, as well as the movies he directed. And he's going to go down, as one of the best, American filmmakers out there, because he's done dramas as well as action films. So he's definitely delivered a lot of things. So without further ado, let's get cracking and look at my top 10 Clint Eastwood movies. Now, at number 10 is a film that I remember seeing a long time ago as a little kid on a Sunday. And it's a movie that I really have always enjoyed and admired. And it is the film that is called The Outlaw Josey Wales. Now, The Outlaw Josey Wales is a 1976 American revitalized Western film set during and after the American Civil War. It was directed and starred Clint Eastwood as Josey Wales, with Chief Dan George Sonderlock. With Chief Dan George Sonderlock, Bill McKinney, and John Vernon. During the Civil War, Josey Wales is a Minnesota farmer that turns soldier who seeks to avenge the death of his family and gain a reputation as a feared gunslinger. At the end of the war, his group surrenders but is massacred, and Wales becomes an outlaw pursued by bounty hunters and soldiers alike. Now, love this movie. I remember sitting down watching this with my grandparents, and I had a good old time watching it. And definitely when I was younger, I did watch probably more Western movies than I do now. I think, Western movies, the ones you get now don't grip you the way the classics do. But still, you get the odd gems out there, and you never know, a couple could be on this list. But without further ado, at my number 10, it is The Outlaw Josey Wales.
Suddenly, his wife and child were dead. The feud was about to begin.
Hound this Wales to kingdom come.
Because of what you did here today, I've got to kill that man.
Well, he'll have to run for it now. And hell is where he's headed.
Clint Eastwood is the outlaw Josey Wales.
Well, not a hard man to track. Leaves dead men wherever he goes.
Get out of the way, Holmes! Whenever I get to liking someone, they ain't around long.
I notice when you get to disliking someone, they ain't around for long either.
Well, the one that everyone's so scared of, Al. Yeah.
We got the Josey Wales, Abe. We got reward money coming.
You're wanted, Wales.
You a bounty hunter?
Yeah, he's got to do something for a living these days.
Dying ain't much of a living, boy.
He was out for revenge, and they were out for his blood. And when you're an outlaw, there's no turning back.
You're all alone now, Wales.
Not quite alone.
He lives by the gun. He lives by his word. And he lives for revenge. He's an army of one. Clint Eastwood is the outlaw Josey Wales.
Fantastic. One of the best westerns, in my opinion, you know, back in the day. And as always, Clint Eastwood just has that personality and that, you know, chemistry that just drives you to watch him and everything he does on screen. At number 9, it is a film that I only caught probably 3 or 4 years ago. It is a film that came out way back when, I think in the 1984, I believe. 1984, and it was like one of his detective story films. And I found the plot really interesting, and I really found him interesting in this film. And the film I'm talking about is Tightrope. So I only caught this probably 3 years ago, and I was really surprised by it. I'm surprised I've missed this one, to be honest, but it's become a film that I've enjoyed. So Tightrope is directed by Richard Tuggle, stars Clint Eastwood, Genevieve Burgard, and Dan Hedaya, I believe. And the plot is around New Orleans. Single dad and cop Wes Block goes after a serial rapist killer, but when he gets too close, the hunter suddenly becomes the hunted. So definitely a fun movie, and you know, I think this is one of his most underrated movies, if I'm quite honest. Clint Eastwood's done a lot of amazing stuff, both like I see as director and as an actor. And I think this is one of his films that doesn't really get looked at and is like overlooked. But I thoroughly enjoyed it when I first seen it 3 years ago, and I've watched it a few times since and still enjoy it. So number 9, it is Tightrope.
Detective Block, are the murders connected?
Yes, we believe that the murders are committed by the same killer. The killer is a Caucasian, blood type O, about in his mid-40s.
Any suspects?
120,000 of them.
Anything you'd like me to tell the mayor?
Yeah, he's one of them.
Do you investigate many sexual crimes?
Why?
I was wondering if they've had any effect on you.
A cop on the edge. Clint Eastwood. Tightrope.
Yeah, Tightrope, another great movie. And like I say, in my opinion, one Clint Eastwood's films that always seem to get, you know, overlooked, doesn't seem to get the appreciation or the attention that some of his other movies do. But that's just, like I say, my opinion, and that's why it's my number 9 on my top 10. Now we'll go to a film that came out in 1979, and this is definitely one of his best movies. It's a movie I've seen a number of times that I thoroughly enjoy. It's a film that I always think is a fun watch every time I see it. I never get bored watching this film, and it is, of course, the movie Escape from Alcatraz. Escape from Alcatraz is a 1979 American biographical prison drama film directed and produced by Don Siegel. The screenplay was written by Richard Tuggle, who just happened to be the director of Tightrope. It is based on the 1963 non-fictional book of the same name by J. Campbell. By J. Campbell Bruce, which recounts the 1962 prison escape from the maximum security prison of Alcatraz. The film stars Clint Eastwood as escape ringleader Frank Morris alongside Patrick McGoohan, Fred Ward, Jack Tyberry, and Larry Hankins, with Danny Glover appearing in his film debut. So that alone makes this film stand out. It's got a fantastic cast. It's a great movie. It's one of those movies I can always go back to and watch time after time. So at my number 8, it's Escape from Alcatraz.
Alcatraz, the Rock. No one has ever escaped from this prison. This is Frank Morris. Armed robbery, burglary, grand larceny. Morris has escaped from many prisons, but Alcatraz could be the exception.
I smell something burning.
I'm looking for a new punk.
Good luck.
You don't understand. I just found her.
I guess anything you want bad enough is worth the chance.
Including busting out.
Some men are destined never to leave Alcatraz alive.
This island is solid rock. No one's ever busted out. No one's ever made it.
Since I've been warden, a few people have tried to escape. Most of them have been recaptured. Those that haven't have been killed.
I may have found a way out of here.
No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz.
I'm in.
Me too. And no one ever will.
There are 12 counts every day. One long count. We count the hours. Tuesday night we go.
Shake down.
The bulls count us, and the king bulls count the counts.
No one has ever escaped from Alcatraz. And no one ever will.
See you later, man. Goodbye.
And no one ever will.
In 1962, that statement was no longer valid. Clint Eastwood is Frank Morris in Escape from Alcatraz.
Just always a fun watch. Just fantastic. Always enjoy Escape from Alcatraz. Now, the next one is probably one of his most beloved movies. You know, I really, really like this movie, but there's a lot of his other movies that I like a lot more. This is a part of a film series, and it is, of course, Dirty Harry. So Dirty Harry is a 1971 American action thriller film produced and directed by Don Siegel. You can see there's a kind of pattern there with these collaborations. The first in the Dirty Harry series, Clint Eastwood plays the title role in his first appearance as San Francisco Police Department Inspector Dirty Harry Callahan. The film drew upon the real-life case of Zodiac Killer as the Callahan character seeks out a similar vicious psychopath. And, you know, a lot of people might be surprised that this isn't higher on my list, but, you know, there's so many movies that I've seen him do as both director and an actor that he starred in that just gravitated to me a lot more. And as much as I enjoy Dirty Harry as a fun movie, I just think there's much stronger performances that he's done in other films. But that's just, like I say, my opinion. But this is I believe we're at number 7. So this is Dirty Harry.
This is about a movie about a couple of killers. Harry Callahan. And a homicidal maniac. The one with the badge is Harry.
Oh!
There were a lot of reasons they called him Dirty Harry. And he kept inventing new ones.
Don't pass out on me yet. No.
That was a pretty good pinch you made yesterday. The chief was pleased.
He was, huh?
Yeah, he really was. He wanted me to tell you well done.
I'll tell you how deeply moved I am.
How do you like that? I pass along a compliment? You could at least be a little bit polite. It might not even kill you to say thanks.
I'd much rather say thanks to a raise.
Hey, Harry, check communications. Something from Chicago. A gun nut.
I'm putting somebody with you.
Well, you know what happens to the guys that I've worked with. Dietrich's still in the hospital with a bullet in his gut, and Fanducci's dead.
Now, you're working with Gonzalez, or you're not working. Now, that's straight from the 5th floor. You got it?
I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I've kind of lost track myself. But being this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Doesn't it drive your wife crazy?
No.
You mean she got used to it?
No, she never did, really.
Well, what then?
She's dead.
Oh, please forgive me.
She was driving home late one night, and a drunk crossed the center line. There's no reason for it, really.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Look, I want you to tell Chico that I understand, him quitting. I think he's right. This is no life for you two.
Why do you stay in it then?
I don't know. I really don't.
Send Inspector Callahan in.
Mr. Mayor, Inspector Callahan.
All right, let's have it.
Have what?
Your report. What have you been doing?
Oh, well, for the past 3/4 of an hour, I've been sitting on my ass in your outer office, waiting on you.
Damn it all, Harry. That's the mayor you're talking to.
Clint Eastwood. Detective Harry Callahan. You don't assign him.
Stop!
To murder cases. You just turn him loose.
Now, what the hell is he doing up there?
Are you feeling lucky, punk? One of the best lines in film, definitely. And that potentially could be another top 10 down the road. The best lines in film history, which, how the hell would you break that down in, a top 10? There's too many to name, but that is definitely would be near the top, if not in the top 10, that particular line. But here we are with the next entry in my top 10, and I think we're down to number 6. Yes. So here we are. So the next movie is a movie that I also really enjoy, and I just think it's just one of his best movies. I love the story. I love the cast, and I just think it's just a well-written, well-put together movie, and it is In the Line of Fire. In the Line of Fire is a 1993 American political action thriller film directed by Wolfgang Peterson and starring Clint Eastwood, John Malkovich, and Rene Russo. Written by Jeff McGuire, the film is about a disillusioned and obsessed former CSI agent who planned to assassinate the President of the United States and the Secret Service agent who is tracking him. Eastwood, for me, gives one of the best performances he's ever done in his career in this. I really do think it's just a really well put together movie. So this had to be in my top 10. And the rest of the cast, John Malkovich, Rene Russo, and so many more really delivered in this movie and really helped to make this, for me personally, one of his best films of his career that he didn't direct but starred in. And here it is, In the Line of Fire.
Three shots have been fired at President John Kennedy's motorcade.
It was his job to safeguard the destiny of a nation.
Today, America mourns the loss of President
But at the
John
critical
Fitzgerald
moment, he was a split second too late. Now, after a lifetime of second thoughts and second guesses, Secret Service agent Frank Horrigan is about to get a second chance.
Yeah.
Frank Horrigan?
Yeah.
I've read about you, seen photos. You were JFK's favorite. Dallas. What happened to you that day?
And this time, he'll be ready.
I see you, Frank. I see you standing over the grave of another dead president.
That's not gonna happen.
Clint Eastwood. In the Line of Fire.
So, just a brilliant movie. I love John Malkovich in this. Him and Clint Eastwood just did fantastic in this movie. And it, for me, is definitely just an amazing film that he and, like I say, John Malkovich put the heart and soul into. And the performances were great. The film had a great plot, kept you on your toes. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The next movie is a movie that I've already featured in my top 10 before, and this is, I believe, my number 5 film. It's the film that stars, obviously, as well, the late great Gene Hackman, who died, last month. Just loved him and Clint Eastwood together in this. So, of course, I have to be talking about Unforgiven. And Unforgiven, it's one of my favourite westerns. It did feature in my top 10 westerns. Unforgiven is a 1992 American revisionalized western film produced and directed by Clint Eastwood. It stars Eastwood himself as William Money, and an aging outlaw and killer who takes on one more job years after he turned to farming. The film co-stars Gene Hackman, Morgan Freeman, and Richard Harris, and was written by David Webb Peoples. So, what can you say? Just a great movie. Gene Hackman won an Oscar in this movie. I believe, there was a lot of great movies out that year that this came out. So it was definitely well deserved, like everyone who won awards in this film. I do think Clint Eastwood should have potentially have won for this particular movie, best Oscar for the director. But hey-ho, whether he's got an Oscar or not, it's the fans that decide on a person's career, not a committee, not, a bunch of people sitting thinking who they think deserves to win awards. It's down to the people. And there's many people and many awards that should have been, given to people who well deserved those awards, and they didn't. And there's so many actors out there that still haven't got an Oscar. That for me is just shocking. Example, William Dafoe. He deserves an Oscar. The kind of performances he puts in, outstanding. For example, Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse. Him and Robert Pattinson, William Dafoe in that particular movie put on one of the best performances he's ever done in his career. And him and Robert Pattinson should have both been nominated for awards in Oscars, in all of that for that movie. And I generally believe William Dafoe should have won for that movie. But unfortunately, he didn't. But hopefully there'll be a movie out there with a role down the line that William Dafoe will finally be given the justice and the ceremony and the recognition that he truly deserves. But until then, at my number 5, it is Unforgiven.
Step over to the office and get the bullwhip.
A whipping? That's all they get after what they've done? Get out of there!
It was a matter of honor.
They're paying $1,000 to whatever kills the two boys that cut up Delilah.
In a time when lawmen were killers.
What are y'all looking at?
You English, Bob? Outlaws were heroes.
Well, I thought that you were dead. Hell, I even thought I was dead. Till I found out it was just in Nebraska.
And a bad reputation
You're the one who killed William Harvey and robbed that train over Missouri?
was as good as gold.
My guess is you're calling yourself Mr. William Money.
Say what?
You don't look no meaner than hell, cold-blooded damn killer.
I ain't like that anymore, kid.
$1,000 reward, Will.
Nobody's gonna come.
So you still have that Spencer rifle, huh?
Yeah.
He's my partner. He don't go, I don't go.
What's it come to 3 ways?
Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm gonna go back to being the way I was.
Are you really gonna kill them cowboys?
I do not like assassins or men of low character.
We ain't bad men no more. We're farmers.
You're a lot of savages! A bunch of bloody savages!
Assassin!
Oh, I guess they have it coming.
We all have it coming, kid.
Some legends will never be forgotten. Some wrongs can never be forgiven.
Any man don't want to get killed. Better clear on out the back.
Unforgiven.
Brilliant. Loved it. I'm actually going to watch that film potentially tonight or tomorrow. I'm in the mood for a good Western, and there's a handful on this list, and there was a handful of my top 10 Western films that, you know, I definitely would like to revisit. So who knows? It could be potentially Unforgiven. But yeah, we are at my top 4, I guess, now. This is my next one's number 4 on my top 10 list. And this is the movie that, for me personally, it put Hilary Swank on the map. And it was the movie that Clint Eastwood, I believe, he did win Best Director at the Academy Awards. And of course, I have to be talking about none other than $1 Million Baby. Him, Morgan Freeman, Hilary Swank, just were phenomenal in this, you know, absolutely phenomenal. Just a phenomenal movie, and I don't know if anybody else were, but I really was shocked by the end of this movie. I didn't see it coming. It was probably the first time I was speechless in the theaters. I hadn't been speechless for a long time in the theaters. I had an ending that really took us by surprise, and this one definitely did in $1 Million Baby. So $1 Million Baby is a 2004 American sports drama film. It is directed, co-produced, scored by, and starring Clint Eastwood. Just what I said there. Look at all of the things that this man does for film. He produces, he directs, he acts, and he even works on the film scores. The screenplay was written by Paul Haggis, based on stories from the 2000 collection Ropeburn Stories from a Corner by FX Tool, the pen name of fighting manager and cutman Jerry Boyd. It is also stars Hilary Swank and Morgan Freeman. The film follows Margaret Maggie Fitzgerald, an underdog amateur boxer who is helped by an underappreciated boxing trainer to achieve her dream of becoming a professional. And it is literally just one of those films that grabs you. You know, Rocky for me will always be the best sports film out there. Absolutely, I love Rocky. I don't think anything for me, in my opinion, will beat Rocky. But this is definitely close to being up there. So here we are with $1 Million Baby.
Do your best, Lord, to protect. Other than that, you know what I want. There's no use me repeating myself.
Mr. Dunn?
I owe you money.
No, sir.
I know your mama.
Thought you might be interested in training me.
I don't train girls.
People see me fight, say I'm pretty tough.
Girly, tough ain't enough.
There's magic of fighting battles beyond endurance. It's the magic of risking everything for a dream that nobody sees but you. Who's your new girl?
Jesus.
Working the bag, boss.
I'm not your boss. You have bags working you.
Did you write your daughter?
Every week.
The girl seems to be coming along.
Almost like someone's been helping her.
I seen you looking at me.
Yeah, out of pity.
Don't you say that if it ain't true. If I'm too old for this, then I got nothing.
If I take you on,
I promise I'll work so hard.
you don't question me, and I'm gonna try to forget the fact that you're a girl. Now, what is the rule?
Protect myself at all times.
Good.
Find a man, marry him. People hear about what you're doing and they laugh at you.
I got nobody but you, Frankie.
Well, you've got me. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm just trying to keep you from doing the same.
I know, boss.
Good man to have in the corner.
Yes, he is.
Look, hey, get the hell down. You know how old I am. I just want to keep her with me.
You just protected yourself out of a championship.
Frankie, I've seen you at Mass almost every day for 23 years. The only person who comes to church that much is the kind who can't forgive himself for something.
You got a fight I don't know about?
You gonna leave me?
Never.
Just brilliant. Another amazing movie, and all of the awards and accolades that movie received were well deserved. Another fantastic film, by Clint Eastwood. The next one on the list, which is now my number 3. As you know, he's well known for his career in spaghetti westerns. And as we know, there are 3 particular ones that are part of a trilogy that could have made and been the top 3 in the top 10. But I made the choice to choose the one that I enjoy the most and make that my number 3. And the one I chose is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Now, this is definitely one of my favourites. It's definitely one of those westerns I can watch time and time again and never get bored. There's just something about the scenery, something about the performances, something about, the cinematography, the music score, and the amazing cast of this film. So, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, is a 1966 Italian epic spaghetti western film directed by Sergio Leone and starring Clint Eastwood as the Good, Lee Van Cleef as the Bad, and Eli Wallach as the Ugly. Its screenplay was written by Age and Scarpelli, Luciano Vincenzoni, and Leone, which additionally screenplay material and dialogue provided by an uncredited Sergio Donati, based on a story by Vincenzoni and Leon. Director of photography Tonio Deli Colli was responsible for the film's sweeping screenplay and cinematography. It was Italian-led production and co-producers in Spain, West Germany, and the United States. Most of the film took place in Spain. So that was a hell of a mouthful. I probably butchered half the names. And if I do and have, I will do nothing but apologise, as my pronunciation sometimes can be, I can't even speak. My pronunciation sometimes can be rather crap. And I just have to apologise for it. But definitely, it had to be in the top 3, and it is The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly.
The good. The bad. The ugly. The blue. The gray. The Civil War. The answers. The showdown. The reason. The goal.
Just phenomenal. And my favourite of those particular movies, 100%. Now, on to the final two. Now, the final two are hard for me to pick, because I kept on, moving my list up and down, putting films that were lower on the list, were higher on the list, then I put them down the list. It was hard to put certain movies where I wanted to slot them. And there's some Clint Eastwood films that I haven't seen. So I haven't yet seen The Mule. So I don't know if that's a phenomenal movie that should be on this list, and because I haven't seen it, it's not getting the justice it deserves. There's so many movies that he's directed or starred in, and this list was, the movies for his acting performances more than anything else. In this next particular movie that I picked at me number 2 is, for me, one of his best acted roles that he's ever done. There was just something about his performance in this film that blew me away. Also, the story. And the film I'm talking about is none other than Gran Torino. Now, this film is phenomenal. And like I say, it's one of his best acted roles that I've ever seen him do. His performance in this is just outstanding. I think he just delivers a performance that, he's always been a good actor. But this one, for me, was one of the roles that, for me, will always stand out for Clint Eastwood. Gran Torino is a 2008 American drama film directed, produced, and starring Clint Eastwood. It features a significant, I might butcher this, Hmong American cast, a first of mainstream American films. The score was composed of Kyle Eastwood and Michael Stevens, with Jamie Cullen and Clint Eastwood providing the lead track. The film itself, it's set in Hyde Park, Michigan. The story follows Walt Kowalski, a recently widowed Korean War veteran, alienated from his family when Kowalski's neighbor Theo Van Law is pressured by his cousin into stealing Walt's prize for Torino for his initiation into a gang. Walt stops the theft and develops a relationship with the boy and his family. And oh boy, does this go on a bit of a ride once that happens. But yes, love this movie. And like I say, in my opinion, it's one of Clint Eastwood's best performances as an actor. So here we are with Gran Torino.
Come here, girl.
Stop! Let go!
What you looking at, old man?
Ever notice how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with? That's me.
Man, you crazy, man. Get out of here, man.
Dad, you worked hard your whole life. Maybe it's time you started thinking about taking it easier. These places are nothing like what you'd think they'd be. They're great. Kicking us out on his birthday. I told you this was a bad idea.
What the hell these Chinese have to move in this neighborhood for?
Dorothy mentioned specifically that it was her desire for you to go to confession.
And I confess that I have no desire to confess to a boy that's just out of the seminary. Get off my lawn.
You better watch your back.
Thank you.
I heard there was some trouble in the neighborhood. Why didn't you call the police?
I prayed that they would show up, but nobody answered. Why are you bringing me all this garbage anyway?
Because you saved Tao.
I didn't save anybody.
You're a hero to the neighborhood.
I'm not a hero.
We're having barbecue. You want to come over? We've got beer, too.
I might as well drink with strangers. Those guys were here the other night. What about them?
Just a gang.
Here's the deal. You stay away, because if I have to come back here again, it's gonna be ugly.
What was it like to kill a man?
You don't want to know. Tao and Sue are never gonna find peace in this world, as long as that gang's around.
What are you gonna do, Walt?
Whatever it is, they won't have a chance.
Just brilliant. Just another brilliant film. Like I say, for me personally, I just think it's one of Clint Eastwood's best acted roles. As well, he's a fantastic director, but that for me was always his best role, or one of his best roles as an actor. And now we come to number one. And this film had to be my number one because it is a film that I can watch time and time again. And each time I get a laugh. Each time I enjoy it. Each time I just think it's one of the best acted movies out there. And in fact, I recently watched this again for the first time in a long time, and I wish I had included it in my top 10 war films, and I didn't. But as far as Clint Eastwood goes, for me, this is my favourite film and my favourite performance he has ever done, because it's not just him in this movie, it's the movie itself and how much I enjoy it. And I'm talking about Clint Eastwood's Heartbreak Ridge. And it's just a fun film. It just really is. I enjoy this from start to finish, from the comedy elements to the drama elements at the beginning to when they go and invade into the war, and it turns very serious very fast. So Heartbreak Ridge is a 1986 American war film directed and produced by Clint Eastwood, who also starred in the film. The film co-stars Marsha Mason, Everett McGill, and Marlo Van Peebles, and was released in the United States on December the 5th, 1986. The story centers on a U.S. Marine nearing retirement who gets a platoon of undisciplined Marines into shape and leads them during the American invasion of Grenada in 1983. And speaking of 1983, that just happens to be the year I was born. So I'm an old fucker. Yes, I know I've got a face of an angel, the body of a god, but I was actually born in 1983 and I'm old. I'm getting old, but I always remember this particular movie and the performances and the story, and it's just a delight to watch. So at my number one, it is Heartbreak Ridge.
Sergeant Tom Gunny Highway, Congressional Medal of Honor winner, over 30 years in the Marine Corps. His battles never end.
I think war's just been declared. Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
Ayatollah of rock and roller.
Shut your face, hippie.
You say hippie, man? Ain't been no hippies around here for centuries, man. You been freeze-dried or doing hard time?
Bad whiskey, bad sex, and bad men, I never forget.
You didn't talk dirty like that when we were married.
Always. Only you were never there to hear it.
Well, I ask for Marines. The division sends me relics.
You men do not impress me.
Recon platoon kicks butt.
Ow. God, you ladies think you can slip and slide. You're gonna start acting like Marines right now.
Who invited you?
I'm not doing this because I want to take long showers with you, and I don't want to get my head shot off in some faraway land because you don't habla, comprende?
Gunny, my weapon's jammed.
What's your name, Marine?
Lance Corporal Forgetty, Gunny.
Shouldn't litter, faghetti. This is the AK-47 assault rifle, the preferred weapon of your enemy. And it makes a distinctive sound when fired at you, so remember it. Strip off those t-shirts.
Gunny, we're all the same.
The same as me.
How the hell are we supposed to know what kind
You
of t-shirt?
improvise, you overcome, you adapt. Now get off those damn t-shirts now.
First
for 2 wins. How do you figure?
Your man cheated.
I say he improvised. He cheated! He adapted, he overcame. I'll put my life takers and heartbreakers up against anyone, any place, at any time.
We're going to war, Ben. To the island of Grenada to assist in rescuing American citizens there.
Get on your feet, Highway!
With all due respect, sir, you're beginning to bore the hell out of me.
Clint Eastwood, Heartbreak Ridge.
Just amazing. Just amazing. And just like in Gran Torino, I think that is one of the best, funniest, and, you know, fun performances as Clint Eastwood. For me personally, it's great how he kept a straight face and he kind of was funny without meaning to be funny, but he just captivated the screen. And of course, like I say, it starts off as this kind of drama in the camp as they're training the soldiers, the Marines, and then it gets very serious very fast and it becomes a full, you know, war film right at the end. And it's great how it was able to do that switch. But by that time, you give a damn about the characters and about the people involved, including, of course, Clint Eastwood. So, yes, that is why Heartbreak Ridge had to be my number one. But what is your top 10 Clint Eastwood films? Is the ones that you think should have been on the list? Is the ones that you think I should take off the list? You let me know what your personal top 10 Clint Eastwood films are that he starred in. Not directed as well, but, you know, there was a few on this list that he starred in, but he didn't direct. And I wanted to do an equal, you know, field with the films that he's done. But yes, this has been my top 10 Clint Eastwood films. There's going to be more my top 10s coming in the near future, including my top 10 MCU films, which will be the next one. Because, you know, I think we're up to nearly 30 films within the MCU. And there's a few more coming out this year, but I want to focus on the ones I've seen. I've pretty much seen them all except the Marvels, which when I seen the trailer, I instantly was off-putted by it, so it's not something I really want to watch, but if I have to, I will. Captain America Brave New World was the latest offering from Marvel, and it was an okay film. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, it wasn't anything that stands out from the rest, but it was what it was. So that, like I say, is going to be the next my top 10. But like I always say, keep on enjoying your movies, keep on enjoying all things entertainment. Please like, share, and subscribe. And like I say, there's more coming to the entertainment headquarters real soon. But until next time, take care, everybody.